But you see, I've intercepted the circular. Let me read the circular. Quick updates. The NCC National Chapters Delegates Conference, NCDC 2025, will take place on Saturday, 13 September 2025 at 10 a.m. Venue, Civil Service Auditorium, Ministry, Accra. All NCC executives should take note, please. Nathan, this is clearly in defiance of the High Court injunction that was placed on the election. So that conference is going to be held secretly, and then secretly they will elect new executives.
Meanwhile, there's an injunction.
There's a substantive injunction case to be heard.
There's an injunction on the said election.
Yes.
The court says do not organize this election.
Yes.
And
Come
yet,
and let's discuss the issues raised in that interlocutory injunction.
Okay.
We went to court, you did not show up. Challenging. You see, when the NCC and the election committee went to the court, they went to claim that they were not served. So the judge said, okay, no problem. Let service be done. And then let's hear this case on the 14th of October. Now, Nicodemously, Elvis Herman Hesse and his people want to organize an election.
Really? So why are you mentioning Elvis? Is he part of the mix? He's part of the mix.
Herman Hesse is the outgoing chairman.
Yes. Yeah, he spoke to us a month ago saying he didn't want to contest.
Yeah, so he's not contesting.
So okay.
But he obviously has a say in who becomes the next NCC boss.
You
Okay.
need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh, take your time. Move yourself. You see, Nathan, so Herman Hesse is convening a delegates conference on the 13th. What will happen at that delegates conference? What is expected to happen at that delegates conference? An election. Clearly disrespecting the orders of the court. House of Folk shouldn't be doing this. You see, House of Folk shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I've heard all sorts of things. Look, I hear there's money in that chapters committee. They have money. There's money.
Money that they use for what exactly?
Oh, there's money. There's money they mobilize from all sources. So they can come to you, Nathan, as a lover of House of Folk, Ibima. They come to Immortal. You love House of Folk, Ibima. The supporters themselves, they contribute. So there's a fund that is up for grabs. You see? Near is up for grabs post-election.
This is up for grabs.
But when you become president of Ghana, you inherit the purse.
Yes.
So
it's up for grabs.
So the dynamics are, and you see, Mr. Hesse, I think that whatever concerns have been raised concerning the election, Nathan, the people are asking that. Look, they want to see an album of the delegates.
Yes.
They want to see the people who are going to vote and be sure that indeed these are members who have the right to vote in the interest of transparency. You want to have a transparent NCC election. So let us see who are the delegates who are expected to go and vote.
Yes.
Nathan, a simple election as a supporters wing election has become a problem at House of Folk. Now we are being told that some people are in a hurry to conduct the election because some people want to withdraw the money and boat to Europe.
Some people want to withdraw the money and run away to Europe.
That is the allegation on the street.
That's the allegation. So now this said allegation needs to be brought before the law. And I'm told
they have 3 million Ghana cedis in the NCC account.
3 million cedis.
3 million Ghana cedis.
But in principle,
that is good cash.
That money does not belong to any individual.
So, you see, Nathan, that is why people are concerned. That is why those who have sent the matter to court are concerned. That if there's 3 million Ghana cedis in the kitty, and we are told that some people want to relocate to Europe with those funds, they must be up and doing. some people, these allegations, me, later, me, I don't know. Me, that's the word on the street. You know me, I report what is on the street first.
Yes.
Then when I do my investigations, I'll confirm. So what is on the street?
The street, this is the same street Shatta bought his Lamborghini from.
Shout out to Shatta.
Shout out to SM.
So Nathan, these are very serious matters brewing in the camp of Accra and Suffolk.
Okay.
Brewing in the camp of the Accra and Suffolk supporters.
Right. Now, for those who are a little lost as to what Raymond is saying, let me just read you these quick facts or some info. Okay, so Ray talks about an injunction. Now, that injunction was given by a high court in Accra, presided over by His Lordship, Mr. Justice John Eugene Nyante Nyadu. Okay, on Tuesday, it was earlier this week. Very good. So he gave an injunction, or the injunction case, was adjourned to the 14th of October for hearing and determination. Now, the person who is behind all this process or processes is a gentleman called Mr. Sani Mahama Sumara, and he has sued Hearts of Oak Sporting Club PLC, the National Electoral Commission, and the Elections Committee of the National Chapters Committee of Accra Hearts of Oak, praying for an interlocutory injunction to restrain the EC from organizing the overdue general elections in the leadership of the chapters of the football club. I don't know if you can explain to me. You may have some more experience.
Yeah.
So the interlocutory injunction, so what it was seeking that the
election be stopped.
It should be stopped.
Yes, pending the hearing of that interlocutory injunction application in court on the 9th of September.
Okay, so
now when we went to court on the 9th of September, the defendants did not show up. Their lawyers argued that there was no evidence of service.
Okay.
So the High Court judge, the learned John Eugene Nyante Nyando, adjourned the case to the 14th of October.
Okay.
2025.
Sporty.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, but Nathan, quickly, let me do this.
Yes, we have somebody on the line.
Let me do this correction quickly. The money in question is not 3 million Ghana cedis. It's 300,000 cedis. So quick correction. So it's in the 3. See, I added a few zeros. But it's 300,000 cedis.
But still,
3 million Ghana
it's not
cedis.
an individual's money.
No, it's
money
it's for the
belonging
chapter.
to
Yes.
the chapter. So nobody should touch
correction.
Thank you.
The street said 300,000.
Yeah, so it's 300,000. All right, let's go to the line. Let's speak with Ado J. Akins, aka Sabatu. He's the outgoing NCC second organizer. Okay, he's joining us on the line to give us some clarity to all the things that are happening. Mr. Akins, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM.
Good morning, sir. Am I speaking to Raymond or?
This is Nathan here. Raymond is equally here. So,
okay.
Yes.
Nathan, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Guys, grace.
Wonderful. So, Mr. Akins, can you just give us some more info on this entire court case and everything that has happened, so we can that's the base, and then we can build the rest of the conversation from there.
Okay, Nathan, let me greet your listeners across the globe of Ghana. You see, as for people there, you make intellectual discourse, and then when somebody comes in, you need to be fatwa with whatever you bring out. Yeah. The court process, that the rate and then the injunction, is about the anomalies. You see, NCC has bylaws and resolutions that we use for our elections. So when they started this process, I'm the one who petitioned the board first. And then I pointed out the things happening to the elections committee. That one, that before somebody can become NCC executive, the person should pass through the mail, which is you have to serve through the chapter, from the chapter to RCC before you can be NCC executive. And then secondly, money charge. the money charge should be paid to the administrator of Accra's book, not NCC mobile money account. Because let's take it for instance, MPP is in power, and then we are going for election. Then another will say that they should pay all money to MPP accounts, and then after the election, and hand over to the person who win the election. How do you say about this? That's 2, and then 3. The bylaws is 3 people cannot contest from the same chapter. It means that you can't use 3 people cannot use one chapter to file for contest for any election. So the minimum is 1, maximum is 2. And then we have 3 people who used chapter 35. And then in this instance, it disqualified them automatically.
Okay.
They brought the thing out, and then we saw that 3 people have used chapter 30. Later, they changed. They said it's an error. They changed the one candidate's chapter to 74, Greater Accra, whereby 74 is Cape Coast. Okay, let's move from there.
Okay.
The next one is, there's one woman who is vying for financial secretary. She's going on a post. She was part of the elections committee who draw the roadmap of the election. And then after everything, this woman resigned and then picked a form to contest as financial secretary. And this, to us, we see it as a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, let me see. Those who even, they are saying that we don't have resolutions and bylaws. When we came to power, they were not handed anything over to them. So we are asking whether the NCC is having bylaws or they don't have resolutions or they don't have. And to my surprise, those who even went for that People's Assembly, Madam Vincent Jadoku was part of the people who made that resolution. I have the names here, which if time can permit me, I can even give you all the names who were present. The directors. We have Mr. Isaac Isakawuni, Director, Nana Intri Goduya Asabri, Management Member,
okay,
Alaji Mutabamba, as from Motagri, then NCC Chairman, Maso Asabri, General Secretary, King Salawiwa, PRO, Muhammad Alasa, National Organizer, Kweku Odise Kanewu, that was 2005. Okay. Kanewu was part. Muhammad Bobby Morton, Sule Mahama, Kabiru Abdul Rahman, Abdul Hamid Baba, Miss Bipis Jani, Miss Vicentia Deku, Alaji HMM Sani, Nana K. Ogobi, Mr. Atuko Bin, Honorable Joe Sali Ata. These are the people who were there when they made our resolutions. That before somebody can contest for NCC position, the person should have served the region for 3 years.
Okay.
Now, the opposing people on us who have not served the region for 3 years, and pay our checks. There are some people who even joined chapters, because one thing is the chapters were even dormant for some time now, and then some of them revived it.
Sporty FM.
And then it's almost 6 months now. So why should you tell us that somebody who have just joined a chapter for 6 months should come and vie for NCC position? So that's the reason why we went to court,
okay,
to seek for redress. And then we serve electoral commission, the MD, who is management member at the head of the management, and then for the NCC electoral committee, they were playing hide and seek, we couldn't find them. So we went to court on Tuesday. And then, unfortunately for us, the bailiff who served the writ and then the injunction did only one proof of service, that he have served the writ. So there was no, he didn't prove service on the injunction. So the court said the court has adjourned the case to 14th October, which we should serve them with hearing notice.
Okay.
And then after that, even when we served them this writ and injunction, they brought out a communique stating that the election have been put on hold. So all issues have been resolved. Now we are hearing that they are going for the election on Saturday per their lawyers' advice. And we are asking, you have not entered appearance. You have not done anything. So why should a lawyer advise that you should go and do the election on Saturday?
Okay. All right. I understand the sequence of events now. So do you have confirmation that this said election is happening this Saturday, despite everything that's happened?
Yes, they have started calling members, chapters members, and other stuff that they are coming. They are doing the election on Saturday, which we have audios on it.
Okay.
If you have come out with a communique that the election is not coming on, why shouldn't you bring another communique to state that you are having the election? But you are calling members behind closed doors, and then you see the chairmanship position. We have 3 aspirants. Now you are called 2 without calling the 3rd person. So what tactics are they playing? And the implication of this, we are not going to say anything about it, but they should do what they want. After that, we'll come out with our contempt application. Simple as that.
Okay. Mr. Elkins, can you... Okay, you finish. Finish, please.
You can't tell us that you are going for an election and then later you come back for us to settle the issue. No. Let's deal with the issue first, and then when we are cleared, we all go for the election.
Okay, so this Saturday's purported election that you are claiming is going to happen, who are those supervising the election? Is there an election committee?
The election committee, we have served them, and then per my checks, they said the chairman said because of the injunction, he will not commit to that. So the NCC, and even the NCC, our mandate has expired almost a year now. So, and per what we have now, the NCC have no mandate to organize any election, because an NCC cannot supervise NCC election. It's the electoral commission, and then the electoral committee of Accra who supervise our elections. So why then that they are telling us that the NCC is going to supervise the election?
Okay.
What are they telling us?
Okay, Mr. Elkins, can you just confirm something to me? You said that some entities were saved. I'm reading, there's a story in front of me that is saying that Mr. Sani Mahama Sumara has sued Hearts of Oak, the club, the National Electoral Commission, and the Elections Committee of the NCC. Can you confirm which of these bodies which amongst these 3 have been served with the injunction?
The 2nd and 3rd defendant have been served.
So that will be the Accra Hearts of Oak,
and then Electoral Commission.
Accra Hearts of Oak and Electoral Commission.
Yes, they served the MD, and then Electoral Commission have been served.
All right.
We are left with Elections Committee of Accra Hearts of Oak to be served, which they are playing hide and seek with us. So we decided to go by substitution. We will file a motion as party, move our application, and then we serve them by substitution.
By substitution.
Because we don't know their houses, we will go by electronics, by serving them through their WhatsApp.
Okay, quite interesting. Yes. My colleague Raymond Yamado is here. He says he has a question. So the next voice you hear will be Raymond's voice.
Right.
Yeah, Raymond, I salute.
I take on, boss. Quick one.
Yeah.
This elections that we are talking about,
Yeah.
who are the three candidates that are vying for the position of the chairman?
One is Yusuf. I know the Yusuf. I don't know the other name. But
Okay.
Yusuf, and then Van der Poel, and then Peter Mama.
Okay. Is it the case that you have an interest in who becomes chairman, and you are possibly, making a case for one candidate as against maybe the establishment candidate or something? Is that the case?
Oh, my bro. Raymond, let me tell you one thing.
Right.
I always fight for a common goal that the law must work.
Okay.
It's not that I have a candidate. Me, if you know me, I'm not partial.
Okay.
I always I believe in rule of law. So what the law says, we should work with that. Because now, as a broker, if we continue doing this, that only those who have money can manage House of Folk, can vie for a position. A time will come, House of Folk elections will be like the politicians. Unless you give money, 20,000 to a candidate before they will vote for you. Yeah. This is what we are preventing for now.
Okay.
And we spoke to some people, and then they are telling us that because some people have wasted money and blah, 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 blah. But if you have wasted money, that's your negligence.
Sporty FM.
Because the law is there. You should have going for the bylaws and everything and go through it, and then know that you qualify or you don't qualify. Then you move on. But you can't tell me that you know this. Let me tell you, Raymond, I was part of the former. I'm saying former because our mandate has elapsed.
Okay.
This issue came up during our time that even the chairman himself doesn't qualify. There are some people who doesn't qualify who were not who didn't pass through the mail. And then we told them that fine. We have we voted into power for almost 6 months now. So they should allow us to continue. But we will make sure we will amend everything, and then we'll see to it that the next election will do the right thing. And with this, even during our NCC meeting, we even form a committee, a review committee that should review all these things, and then we implement it. But what happened? Nothing. Because you see, there are certain things that they plan to do long time. Because of this, they even brought some people who have no knowledge about constitutional these things or reviews and other stuff. Because we could have even consulted people to even do it for us. But because we didn't have support fraternity, we have people who are knowledgeable, who are constitutional inclined, who can do certain things for us. But we ultimately do things on our own, and then it backfires.
Let me ask you this. There's a secret circular, as we have been made to believe, inviting delegates to an election on Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it your suspicion that the establishment want to get one particular candidate to become chairman of the NCC?
Oh, that one for sure. We know for sure. That's why they are telling us that. Even some people call us that we should stop the court case, and because somebody has wasted money, blah 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 blah. But you don't know what somebody.
Do you know that candidate?
Oh, but the NCC, all the NCC members are behind one candidate.
And who is that candidate? With
the exception of one person, Yusuf. All the NCC executives are behind him, with the exception of one person who our former organizer, NCC organizer, Anson, is the only person who is not supporting them.
But in all of this, what is the position of Accra to Folk, the club, in this matter?
Oh no, you see, if our mandate expires, we go on the board. We write to the board, and then the board will give us the go ahead to call for ADA, so that the chapters will come and then give us a mandate to maybe extend our mandate. Right. So in this, if you are filing, you have to let them be in the know That's why we included them.
No, but I'm saying that is management of the club concerned about the development in the NCC fold?
Yeah, they have to. They have to, because we as Raymond, as we serve them up to date. There will not be any call or something. But the first petition, Yahoo court, and they said we should go and do the writing. Why writing means we should go and use the bylaws and then the resolutions.
Okay.
But they said what we heard, they said nobody, we can't do anything. So they should proceed. They should clear everybody.
If the election happens this weekend, what steps would you take? If the elections happen and your candidate doesn't win and Yusuf possibly becomes a new NCC boss, what would you do? What will happen in this case?
Senior, the injunction procedure still holds, and you know the implications of when you are serving an injunction and then you violate it. You know the implications. Yeah. So we have today we are planning to go to police headquarters and then meet with the IGP, and then we are sending our petition and everything to him, because by all means they will bring policemen to monitor the situations over there.
Okay, then and
so
offer
we send
protection
everything to the injunction letter, everything to them.
Okay,
and then from there we will go and meet our lawyers and then we discuss certain things. So from now up to Friday, tomorrow, maybe there will be a new development.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because we don't want a situation whereby, if we don't want a situation whereby somebody will go and then do certain things and then it will create chaos. Because so we want the police to be unknown that this is what we have done. So if anything happens over there, they shouldn't blame us. They should blame the frontliners and they should hold them responsible.
All right.
For what is happening.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Adoe J. Akins, aka Sabato. Really appreciate the info you've given us. We'll keep an eye on this and see. And if there are any updates, I'm sure we'll get back to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Adoe J. Akins, aka Sabato. He's the outgoing NCC second organizer. So he's detailed what's happening. There is an injunction. EC Hearts of Oak have been served. The elections committees, according to him, not availing itself to be served. So they'll have to serve using a different way to stop this election that they claim is a secret election and is happening this Saturday. Right.
I think it's the NCC is not availing itself.
The NCC, okay, yes. the NCC, sorry, the National Chapters Committee. Okay, let me just check the thing. Yes, now the election committee of the NCC. They are so the NCC itself, yes, not the elections committee. Yeah. It's the NCC itself. But the EC, the National EC and Hearts of Oak have been served, except these other people who are not too available. Okay, my producers, do we have Kobe Jones on the line? It looks like we have Kobe Jones. I'm not sure. Okay, I think we've also been joined by Kwabnam Fojo Jones. He's the PRO of the NCC. Kobe, good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Nathan. I'm fine.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Kobe, from the NCC side, what can you tell us concerning the elections, the injunction and accusations or allegations of the NCC planning to hold a secret election this Saturday, despite, the court saying that everything should be paused for other matters to be dealt with?
Thank you very much, Nathan. In the first place, let me greet my colleagues and your colleagues at the studio, and those listening to us this morning. I'm not sure we are planning to have a secret election. I don't know who and those going out to settle out those forces. So we are just planning to hold our Congress, who was supposed to be held the last week, which we couldn't do it because of some legal issues. And we gave the issues to our legal team to study and defend appropriately. And they've gone through some of the process and they've given us green light to and do our Congress. And that is what we're going to do.
Okay, so if I get you right, the Congress is going to happen as planned.
Yes, the Congress is going to happen this Saturday.
Okay.
At the civil services.
Okay, so if this is happening, what about the said injunction that has been served on Hearts of Oak and the EC from Mr. Sani Mahama Sumara? He doesn't want the elections to happen because he feels there are some irregularities that must be sorted. Is this what you are going to do on Saturday? Is it very different from the elections that are the bone of contention now?
Nathan, what I can say is that, like I told you, we had a team of lawyers who are dealing with this case. Indeed, when the issue came the last weekend, we've been with them, and they gave us the green light that we can go ahead and do our Congress, and that's what we know. So the issue about the legalities, maybe they will deal with that.
Okay, and Kobe, during this Congress, are there any elections that will take place, or is there a Congress to deal with regular matters the NCC deals with?
It's a Congress, and mostly if you look at our bylaw, we are supposed to go to Congress every year. That is annual delegate assembly, and this Congress, because it falls on an election year, it's part of the activities that will happen.
Great. Okay, so at least that's quite clear. I'm still turning the issues over in my mind, and so you're saying that, Kobe. So just confirm this to me. So you're saying the NCC has not been served. So you are not in the know of any injunction that is allegedly flying about.
I've not mentioned whether we've been served or we've not been served. I've already told you. I've indicated that we have some of lawyers who are dealing with the legalities.
Okay.
Whether, what caused prevented us from holding the Congress last weekend.
Okay.
And they have given us the green light to do what we are going to do on Saturday.
Okay. So in terms of the green light, you believe you are clear. My colleague Raymond Yamado is here. He has a question. So the next voice you hear will be Raymond's voice.
Kobe.
Right. Yeah, Raymond.
Everything cool.
This is
great. Yeah, we are well.
Nice. Kobe, take me through this. What's the difference between a delegates conference and the annual delegates assembly as per your bylaws?
If you look at our bylaws, we have a delegates congress, like you said.
Yeah.
And we have a delegates assembly.
Okay.
There are instances mostly we go to the ADA to take stocks and tell supporters what should be done, what we've done in the year under review, or what has happened in the year under review.
Okay.
But the Congress, which of course is the highest decision-making body, has certain things that should be done. And if you look at the bylaws, the bylaws specifically tells us what we should do.
Okay.
So this one is the Congress. It's a conference.
So,
and indeed, if you look at the bylaw says that anytime we are going for every chapter to elect 3 people to represent the chapter.
okay.
So, and that is what we are going to have.
Okay. But Kobe, this meeting that would happen this weekend, as part of your agenda, do you have elections on your agenda for this weekend's program?
I think, I don't know whether I'm repeating myself.
No, for the avoidance of doubt.
Yes, I said that this conference falls on a time that we are supposed to conduct an election. You know, this issue has shown our plans and the club's plans I don't know how to put it, because the plan was that this election was supposed to be done last weekend, so that the focus and everybody will be on the club in our upcoming match on Friday. But because of this court and legalities and issues, it has thrown all our plans and the plans of the club overboard. And it's affecting everybody, and it's not in the interest of the club itself. Because the club leaders support the leadership in taking certain decisions, in helping in promoting matches, and in helping in bringing supporters to the city. And we think that they also are worried, and everybody is worried. The team of lawyers sat down, they've gone through whatever legalities they have been raised, and they are saying that we should go ahead and do our function, and that's very good.
Right, Kobe. So let's look at the election itself. Are you aware of the three men or the three gentlemen who are filed to become chairman of the NCC? Do you know them?
Yes, I know them.
Are you part of the management committee that seems to be backing One Yusuf? So we have been told that One Yusuf is the establishment candidate. Are you part of the group in support of Yusuf?
I don't know what I don't understand if people say it's an established candidate. I don't understand. The thing is that we all have to put support.
Okay.
And this is an avenue that every 4 years our bylaws is supposed to conduct an election.
Mm-hmm.
And the incumbent chairman who is chairman Eddie, says he will not contest again. And all these people are all have supported who have come up to contest.
This is Sporty FM, the voice
also
of
has
sport.
supporter. He's been with us, and he knows. I mean, a lot of supporters, they know what he has done. For avoidance of doubt, myself, I'm contesting as a candidate in this election, still going for the PRO.
Okay.
And normally when we go to this election, we form teams. Yusuf have a team. The other candidates, they also have teams. And I'm part of the Yusuf team. So
okay.
I'm supporting him because I'm contesting and I'm part of his team, and his message, everything. Based on it, we've sat down and we think that will help the supporters of the club.
But Kobe, have you cited the petition that was brought before the NCC, the petition that has been submitted from the Kandat chapter? Have you seen that petition? And the issues that were raised in that petition, is the NCC concerned?
Yes, I'm happy you raised that issue. That petition has come before the NCC. The NCC starts with the petitioner, and the NCC explained everything. And I think the petitioner at best will understand some of the issues they raised and explanation given. And I think that it fits well with them. That's what I can say. Because if you look at the petitions raised, one of the issues was that if you've not served in the RCC for 3 years, you cannot compete or contest as a national officer. That is one of the key issues raised in that petition.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond, we inherited an NCC. If I say we, I'm part of the current NCC with a bylaw, and that is a bylaw that the NCC is operating with. And I'm not sure we've sidestepped anything in the bylaw. The issue the gentleman raised or the chapter raised has to do with the resolution passed by a previous NCC. And if you trace it, it's dated back to, I think, the Armstrong time.
In 2005.
And that resolution has not been in operational. The reason being that if we check our bylaws and, look at it with the constitution that we operate with, because the House of Folk as a club has a constitution. Any decision that is taken at the annual Delegate Assembly or Congress should be approved by the board before it becomes law. Because the NCC is an organ of the club. So if you look at it and the way the NCC operates, any disagreement, if anybody has any issue, the highest place you can take the issue to is the board. The board is our final arbiter. if you go to the board and you are not satisfied and you go to law court, the bylaw says that you need to be a member of the NCC. And that is what the bylaw says. So I think that all these issues, indeed, if the petitioners who appeared before the NCC were not satisfied, the appropriate body to have gone to would have been the board, and the board would have decided on whatever petition or issues that they have.
Okay. Kobe, finally, this weekend, should the election come on, because of the pending court case, there's a possibility all of you could be reined in for contempt. Are you ready to go to jail?
It's a legal issue. One gets the brief will cross it.
Thank you very much, Kobe.
Kobe, thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon. Have a good day.
Thank you. But before I go, please,
yes.
tell our supporters that we have match on Friday. This Friday, we want all our supporters to be at the Accra Sports Stadium. This is a season opener. It's a match that is dear to every House of Hope supporter. So we beg every House of Hope supporter. I mean, the kind of euphoria that is generating and how Matuidi Zamani and his boys are making us happy. We want that thing to continue. We want everybody. We are all one people, one supporters. Let's come together and support this club so that we can get we can get victory against Oho United. We don't want what happened to us the last time against Vaseke to repeat itself. So we want everybody to come support the team, whatever you can to help this team to win our first match, because it's very important to us. So I'm urging our House of Hope supporters to be at the Accra Sports Stadium on Friday. The kickoff for that particular game is 7 p.m. But there will be a curtain raiser, the Starlets against Arad. And I think you can come early and also enjoy that match around 4 p.m.
Okay. All right, Kobe. Thank you for that. And we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right. That was Kobe Jones. No. Kobe's the PRO of the National Chapters Committee. And he said that, yes, elections they have a Congress this Saturday.
Yes.
And it looks like there will be an election as part of the Congress.
It's leaning towards an election.
You see, it looks like he says that they have their lawyers dealing with the legal parts. They are going to do what they must do.
Very well.
Following the bylaws. So, watch this space. 8:13. If you support Accra Hearts of Oak, you can send me a message. I'm sure later on we'll open the phone lines. Let me know what you think of all of this. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. If you don't know, Sporty FM, Sporty TV, and Sporty FM YouTube will be giving you live coverage of the World Athletics Championships happening in Japan. Now, our colleague Yao Fosulabi will be in Japan and he'll be bringing you up to speed. So find Sporty FM on all platforms and follow, because we'll keep you very updated on the World Athletics Championships happening in Japan. All right, let's talk some like proper football matters. These Hearts of Oak, this is on the side really. Let's talk about some on-field football matters. And we are delighted to have our very good friend visiting us once again, Faisal Chibsah. He's the high performance specialist at FIFA, right? Faisal, did I get the title right?
You did, yeah. High
performance specialist at FIFA. Faisal, how are you doing? It's been a while.
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm fine. And what have you been up to?
Football. Trying to see how we can keep our competitions competitive, improve it year by year, and also give as many countries and kids the opportunities to first develop, and then maximize the potential of every country. Kids realize their dreams. So it's been that for the past years, 24 hours a day, and it's been a joy. So I'm loving it.
Wonderful. What have you made of the World Cup qualifiers, let's say on the African continent? I'm sure you have an eye on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But what are some of the big stories from the just ended round of qualifiers from a FIFA perspective?
Yeah. No, I mean the biggest one would be for us Cape Verde, and we were just speaking about that, asking if we had not increased World Cup to 48 teams, would countries like Cape Verde even had opportunity to even dream of playing there, you know. So I think looking at that decision that was made a couple of years ago and what we are seeing now, I think it's been justified. But at the same time also, we are a bit scared because the first time you're bringing 48 teams to a tournament, there's concerns about whether the tournament is going to be as competitive as it is, or if it's going to be watered down. But so far, I would say every team has shown great competitiveness, and I think the idea to support them, not just open up the competition, but support their preparation, their planning, organization, and all that, was the right one. And I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see.
You talk about Cape Verde. Can you just give us, for those who don't understand why Cape Verde is such a special case, can you just explain where they've come from and the fact that they are on the brink of making their first World Cup?
Yeah, of course, it's an island, right? And even on the island itself, they've got their own challenges traveling from one island to the other. Sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time, it's expensive, and the facilities and infrastructure is not there. So if you're thinking in general, how can you pick best players in different islands and bring them together, like organizing a training camp? It's very, very difficult. So because of that, development sometimes remains stagnant. You can often bring the best players together to train because it's really expensive to do it. So you would think, okay, challenges like this would stop them from really developing their game, or even giving opportunities to kids and their players to train and realize their dreams. But besides all that, they are finding ways to do it. So if an island like that faces massive challenges like this and are still able to compete against the best teams on the continent, or like you said, one foot in going to US now, it's a story to be told. Hopefully they make it. I want them to make it, because these are some of the stories you want to tell in the World Cup that sponsors are interested in, and the rest of the world. It builds dreams, and like I said, I want them to go. I'm a bit biased, I would say.
you want Cape Verde to go. Cape Verde are 4 points ahead of Cameroon, right?
Correct.
4 points ahead of Cameroon.
Correct.
It's an absolutely brilliant time. But when I think about Cape Verde, just to put things in context, in 2006 or late 2005 or early 2006, when Ghana punched their ticket to their first World Cup, they went to beat Cape Verde on the road by 4-0. It was the last game. So 19 years on, Cape Verde are knocking on the door. That's a fascinating story.
It is.
And Nathan, I was telling you the story about Cape Verde the other day.
Yeah.
And I was telling you how they've been consistent. They've kept trying. Okay. They've been doing the same things over and over again. And since 2020, when Brito came in, their coach Brito, has managed almost the same core. So it's been. You look at their goalkeeper. It's Vozinha. He's been there
around for years.
He's 39 now. You look at some of his defenders.
Ryan Mendes and Co.
Mendes and Co. So
they were a bad team together.
And they had to.
It's consistency.
Consistency.
Raymond said it.
And that's what's worked for Cape Verde. And so, I'm excited. I'm happy. There's a story to tell about Cape Verde. Doing the same thing over and over again. Getting the same players, sticking to the same players, having the same core, having a manager who stayed with the team, and we are seeing the results now. I mean, it works sometimes.
It does.
It works sometimes. Sometimes it really doesn't work. Some teams can stay together and never really hit the heights.
Look, the thing is, you don't know, right? But so long as you believe in what you're doing, and each day you wake up to improve your work and your performance and the people, the quality, you will get there. That's been the recipe. It's not a secret at all. The most competitive teams in the world, this is it. It's consistency of what they do. They believe in what they do, and they wake up every day to improve. The fact that something is not working now doesn't mean it's totally wrong. It just means, okay, how can you objectively look at the areas, the performance gaps, and then trying to improve it, putting the right people in the right places, square pegs in square holes, this is just a recipe. And again, it's a wonderful story to be told, and they've been consistent with it. And now they're reaping results. Same with Morocco, we've seen it. So it's not a secret at all. It's really out there.
Faisal, tell me, very often I'm happy you mentioned Morocco. Yeah. Sometimes when I argue with some of the colleague journalists or people say that, okay, look, we say a lot of things about Morocco. They haven't won, they don't have 5 AFCONs to their name. They haven't won the last whatever, right? They haven't cracked an AFCON final in years. So what's all this about if they have nothing to show for all the money and hard work they are putting in?
But again, that's football. That's why we all love this game. At any given day or time, everybody can win, right? Unfortunately, we don't control results.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can really do the right things and still not get your results. That's the world we live in, okay? Some of us just wake up every day and we just go to work. But it doesn't mean we reach our target every day. That's just the world we live in, so that's there. But you can't fault Morocco for not being consistent with what they do. You can't say they are not improving. And you also can't say they are not knocking on the doors. They are there. They are getting closer. So that's all you can do. Those are the things you can control. The others you can't. It's not in your hands. So you leave it to chance. But just control the stuff you are in control of, and then leave the rest to chance. That's how we live our lives every day.
Yeah.
So again, you can make all the argument about that, but the reality is we are not in control of results. We are in control of our everyday processes and what we do, the decisions we make. And that's all you can do. And if you're doing that, again, we know you will get there. It took Germany 10 years to rip everything apart before they got to a World Cup final and won it. So again, this is the recipe. You can argue all you want, but the truth is you control what you can control. Your money, your resources, your funds, your people, that's what you are in control of. Put it in the right places, invest in the right areas, and then leave the rest to chance. For sure, your chance would come. And nobody can tell me Morocco would not win in the next 5 or 10 years. They would win.
They'll certainly win.
Definitely.
From a FIFA perspective, when you look at football on the continent, we say all the time, football is changing and there are no small teams. Let me put it this way. How real is that the gap, some people believe the gap is closing, some people think is widening. Which of the two things is the reality?
In some areas, I would say it's closing.
Okay.
In some areas, you can also see maybe we are not that close as we think it is. But the reality is, I think the growth of the game, the business of the game is grown a lot. Women's football, for instance, we've seen it. There's been a massive growth there. On the men's side also, I can say, take the Club World Cup, for instance. Okay, it's a good example. Sundowns, we also was a great, participants there. But if you look at some of the other clubs also, you can say maybe they're not quite close. But if you look at the difference between the clubs that are doing very well and then the ones that are a little bit behind, it comes down to the processes and the everyday work that they do. Sundowns is there because we all know how well they've invested in people, in resources, with the support of the funds, and that's why they're there. Again, it goes back to our earlier conversation. If you're efficient with your resources, you will get there. So the gap is closing to the teams that are really doing the right things, are investing in the right areas, and then the others that are really not being efficient with their resources and their funds, you can tell they're not, they're not close as we think they should be. So overall, I would say the busy ones and the ones that really want to get there are getting there. They are closing the gap. And the ones that have refused are the ones that I would say behind now. So it's a bit of 50-50. In some areas, we are getting closer. In some teams and clubs and countries, Morocco is getting closer, yes. Again, I hate to say Morocco all the time because it always comes down to Morocco, right? But that's just the truth. And then the others are just still behind. So it's a tricky one, if you ask me. I would say we are closing in some areas, and in some areas we are still behind.
You mentioned that the Club World Cup. You observed it at close quarters. Yeah. How was it like putting it together from a FIFA perspective? Because it's the first of its kind. We had seen the 8-team tournaments being played regularly, but here you had to put 32 clubs at the end of a very extended football season for some. constraints of whether the Americans will even buy this idea of a Club World Cup, you know. Just how was it like from a FIFA perspective? How was it like putting all of it together and see it happen in front of you tangibly from day one all the way to the end?
It was a challenge. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Again, when you're coming up with something new for the first time, you are going to face challenges. So in terms of whether is the timing good at the back end of the season, is that the right time to do it? Pre-season, workload, all that kind of stuff. We knew we were going to face that.
Okay.
We knew that. But like I said, when you're doing something for the first time, a good initiative like this for the first time, be ready for the challenges. So we were quite open and saying, okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, let's bring in the teams, let's be open, let's listen to the players, the fans, the coaches, all the stakeholders, and let's take that back and see how best we can improve it.
Okay.
But overall, I think the objective was served. We knew a competition like that was needed. How often would you get Fluminense compete against PSG? Like, it's all about opportunities, right? But also growing the game and raising money and feeding back into development. Most people are looking at the game on the field, but off the field, it was a huge success. Not only for FIFA, but for all the participating teams.
Was it from a money perspective?
Of course. But money that goes back into development of the game, money that goes back into giving more kids the opportunity to play the game and realize their dreams. These are all part of the ecosystem. So if you look at it from one angle only, even on the field, I thought it was a success also. But I think the massive one would be off the field, where we're able to raise money, to set back into the game, to optimize development, to give more kids the opportunity. For sure, that was a huge success. So overall, we knew the challenges we were going to face. And of course, we were open. But I think the overall goal was, why Club World Cup? And I think the answers were right. And for sure, the next one would be even better than this one. But the issue of timing, workload, we know. But we can dance around that for sure.
Well, what were the biggest issues? I guess the clubs, it would be the workload, right?
Yeah.
The players were complaining too many games. They were fatigued. For the fans, what were their complaints? I'd love to know what it is that the fans had issues with.
I think the weather was a big one. Okay, that time, so it goes back. If we want to organize that at that time of the year, should it be in North America or should it be somewhere a bit more warm and nice? I don't know. These are stuff that we'll go through. Or maybe the kickoff time should have been later. These are stuff that we are taking home with. But it was a huge success, if you ask me. A few things were tried, the new entrance of the players. These are all stuff that we want to bring into the game, because if you keep doing the same thing over 20, 30 years, it gets boring at some point.
But some people felt that a lot of the new things were too American. Yeah. They felt that all these things were too American. NBA style introductions. Yeah. There was the entertainment bit in the final.
Yeah.
Some people felt, look, this is just disrupting the purity, quote unquote, of the game.
I don't think it affected the game in any way. I don't think it delayed kickoff in any way. Again, it's all part of the entertainment. But don't forget, there is the sponsors behind that also want your money worth, right? So you have to give them something. If it's the same old thing, then some may get bored. But I get it. The stuff you mentioned, if you were to attend the game live, you would have a totally different opinion.
You're right. I did speak with a few people who were at games.
Totally different.
And they loved it. They
totally
absolutely loved it.
This could be a reason why one or two would actually want to attend the game, because, okay, I can, look at the players differently and all that. So it's something new, of course. Anytime you introduce a new concept, you're going to have 50% that would say yay, 50% would say nay. So it's all fine. But at the end, the game was played. It doesn't delay kickoff. It doesn't delay anything. We still got our football like we've known it to be. So we'll see. We'll make it better.
Yeah. Ray, just before you come in, if you just tuned in, this is the Sporty Breakfast. It's 8:30 on the dot. We are speaking with Faisal Chibsah, high performance specialist with FIFA, and we are just chit-chatting around football. Whenever Faisal comes around, we have these really off-the-cuff conversations. And I like these off-the-cuff very intelligent conversations we have about football, because not a lot of people view the game that way. We are very, sometimes we get very fixated on the results, 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, and then we don't like to talk about some of these philosophical things, as I choose to call them. Ray?
You know, talking about the Club World Cup, you know, there were moments where games had to take long breaks because of the weather.
Yes.
And we are possibly going to have to deal with same at the World Cup. How is FIFA bracing itself up?
We have to adapt
all of these challenges.
You know, you're absolutely right, but you have to adapt, right? And this is the uniqueness of every country or every host. And sometimes when you go into these countries, you just have to adapt to whatever policies and rules they have there. It's strange. When I first moved to America, it was the first time I heard about like weather breaks and storms and that kind of stuff. Like if it storms here in Africa when I was a kid, that was the time we actually go out and enjoy the rain, and we loved it. And then I moved to America, and then there was, you know, weather, a storm, you have to wait 30 minutes. I'm like, come on. But actually, if you look at the number of times storms have caused death, you'll be amazed. So I get it. It's part of the world we live in. Every, you know, part of the world is unique, is different, and we have to respect. You know, we can't say because we are FIFA, we are coming into America and we don't need to respect their, you know, policies and regulations. It just doesn't happen. It's the same way we come here. We have to. You know, assuming you host the World Cup and there is Homoa Festival or Alagbemi or something of that, we have to respect it. That's just how it goes. You know, so, but yeah, you can, there is no one way of fixing this, right? Some would be happy, some may not, but so long as you know you're doing the right thing and we are respecting the pillars and you know, the principles of the game, then I think, you know, we'll have to adapt. People don't want to change, but we have to adapt. That's just a rule.
Final question on the Club World Cup, and then we'll bring it home. The American audience, American fans, I know there are some big football fans in America, soccer they call it there. Did you think that FIFA won, or do you think you won over a few more?
For sure.
With the Club World Cup?
For sure.
And you think that they would love to now watch the World Cup next year?
100%. Okay, I remember US 94, when the World Cup was held in the US.
Yes.
It completely changed soccer in the US. Same thing in Qatar now. After the World Cup, there are much more kids involved in the game now. And again, that's also the other part of hosting these events. You take events to where areas where you think there would be greater impact, not just organizing a game, but leaving behind what we call a legacy.
A legacy, yeah.
Right? So it's important. And definitely, I believe after the Club World Cup and even after the World Cup next year, it would raise football or soccer in the US to the next level, 100%. Many more kids are playing now. They see the game differently now. And that's also part of organizing events like this. So for sure, this would raise American football or soccer to the next level. 100% believe in that.
Well, I would love to see more Americans going to watch other games, other countries when the World Cup comes around. It's a big concern to me how sometimes locals don't like to go watch games when it's not their country.
So this is the thing. The country itself, it's full of immigrants. Nobody was born American.
Well, that is true.
Nobody in America would say this is my homeland.
Yeah.
Your background or your ancestry is coming from somewhere. And one thing we don't know is every part of America, there are lots of immigrants.
Yeah.
And it's only football or soccer that brings people out.
It's true. Because if you have people who are, for example, people who are Latinos naturally would love to go watch a football game.
They would come.
People of European ancestry would love to go watch 100%. A football game. So
100%. So in terms of like the fans and I have no problem with that. I think the stadiums will get filled. If you look at the preseason games that many clubs go, it's always sold out. Always sold out. So for me, that side of the game, I don't think we'll have any issues. The fans are looking forward to it, and people would attend these games. Tickets have been sold already. Almost sold out in some games. So
wow. Yesterday was the day FIFA started officially selling tickets. Ray, have you bought yours? Not yet.
No, I don't have money.
You don't?
He's waiting for us to qualify first, huh?
Yeah, he's waiting
No.
Whether you'd like to go, but it's a money game now.
We'll go.
Talk about Ghana making it. First, what have you made of the Black Stars? They've had 2 windows.
Yes.
They had one in the middle of the year. they beat Mali then, and then, you know, all of that. And then they came back after the AFCON episode. That didn't work. They won 5-0 against Chad, beat Madagascar 3, drew 1-1 with Chad, and then beat Mali 1-0. In the last 2 games, it just ended with. What did you make of the Black Stars? What did you make of their performance, mentality, tactically? What did you make of what they were doing?
Well, 2 things, right? I think the first one is to qualify, is to get there, right? And we are on track. Okay, 1 foot through the door now. We can all agree to that. So that's one. It's probably the most important, if you ask me, to get to the World Cup. And then there is the other side of like how we are getting there and the team and how we are performing and all that. I think everybody agrees that, you know, there is still work to be done, right? But out of all the challenges, the noise, and whatever is going on, we are still able to win games and stay on track to get there. I think it's a positive thing. But that being said, you know, we all agree that we need to improve in some areas. It's not a secret at all. I think the team themselves, they know it, the coaches know it, the players know it. So that's an area that seems to be becoming a concern. It's fair to say after this number of games, we should begin to see some sort of identity, you know, something that we can all relate to. But we are not there. We also do know some of these things. It takes time. It takes time. On the field, off the field, so much going on that we have to find a way to calm things down and create the best of environment so the coaches and the players can work. I've always said, for me, the environment is the most important.
Okay.
It is the most important. What we do, what goes in there, the contributions in there all affect the performance on the pitch. But that's an area that we really, all of us need to improve on, and we all have a role to play. Let's not just put it on the staff or the players only. What we say off the field, how we do and support, it all goes into the performance and what we see on the pitch there. So I think we all agree that when we make it, we really have to improve in those areas, and hopefully we have been objective. You know, it's something that we don't do a lot, but hopefully we remain objective and say, okay, we need to improve in these areas if we really want to have the best showing next year at the World Cup.
For 3 years ago, when Qatar, we saw the performance of the team. They won 1 game, a very crazy back and forth game with South Korea. Lots of people pointed out to the team's soft underbelly, and the Black Stars were conceding in games: 3 against Portugal, 2 against Korea, then another 2 against Uruguay. If Ghana will succeed in the next World Cup, I guess it starts from being difficult to break down. So, but what can we do? Because the World Cup is the highest level. You are playing against smart teams, smart coaches, great players, all kinds of schemes. When you say that the team must improve, what would it take to transform this team between now and say next year?
Very good question, Nathan. And this is our job as high performance specialists. So our main task now is to ensure that all the teams that are participating are very well prepared, well equipped, and sometimes we have to find these areas and feedback to them so that way they would include in their preparation. So if you ask me right now, if I go back to Qatar 2022, okay, we did a whole analysis with our metrics to look at the characteristics of the best performing teams, what it is that these teams are doing so well that puts them ahead of everybody. And it's general knowledge, is out there. It's not a secret at all. So if I use that as a benchmark and then look at, you know, not just Ghana, but most of our African teams, I'm much interested in African teams that are planning and preparing to go there. What are some of the metrics that they should focus on? We know compactness was one metric, and Morocco was the best when it came to that. If you look at the distances between their units, between their lines, the defensive line units, from the goalkeepers to the last line to the front line, you really, really ought to be very, very compact in some moments of the game. So if I take that metric and look at where we are now, then I would say, okay, we need to close because we are not as compact as we should be. Even if you look at the average teams in Qatar 2022 compared to what I was at a game, a Mali game on Monday, then I would say, okay, we are not close. We are very, very open. And we need to improve these areas.
That kind of openness will be fatal at the World Cup. You will get killed.
You get killed. We are talking like even at the highest level, even if it's 5x5, the most like competitive teams are still able to play through that compactness, let alone.
So you're saying that the most compact size should what 5x5?
I'm just giving an example.
Okay, so if a team shape is say 5x5, there are teams that can play through a 5. And 5x5 is a very small space.
Spain will play through. France will play through. Argentina will play through. Why? Because they've sort of have players that can receive between those lines. And they have players that, like Thomas Partey is a good example. If you see him play at Arsenal, he's probably the best progressors of the ball. No matter how compact it is, he still finds a way to play through.
He was brilliant on Monday. I enjoyed watching him on Monday.
But then you need players also that have the ability to receive in those areas, right? Again, it's a metric we look at. The best teams have it. If I bring it back to our teams here, do we have that? Probably not. So that could be an area also we need to improve in. So there are lots of stuff. So it's our job now to look at all this stuff and then feed it back to the teams, and say these are some of the things you should be looking at when you are training or you're preparing, you're planning, because this is what it takes to really be competitive at that level. So yeah, we've got work, and these are some of the things that again, we feed back to them.
You talk about some of these traits, right? Having players to play in the space, somebody who can play on the 10, progressive passes. When you say that, my mind quickly goes back to the base, the bottom. So which means that we need to do our work well in creating that type of player or grooming that type of player. The feedback that FIFA gives to teams, do they give that kind of feedback to national associations as they put together their own developmental plans? Right? So I look at Ghana, we say we are doing the football DNA. Are there conversations that regularly take place, say, between the GFA and FIFA on where the game is going, what you must do to ensure that your players can be competitive? Even though you may want to create your own distinct style, you must still do that within the context of trends, patterns, and the modern game.
This is my work as an high performance specialist. So many times you would see we are organizing workshops or we are visiting federations. We take these findings, back to the federations, and then we sit down and discuss. This is where the game is heading. These are the emerging trends. How can you take that and adopt it in your own environment when you're planning or preparing for your long-term development strategy? So if you take a player at age 9 or 10 now, knowing by 17 or 18, which is the age in Europe now that players are turning professional, how can you take this player at 9 or 10, put him on a learning journey? So by the time he or she gets to 17, 18, he's well equipped to receive between lines, to penetrate, to break lines, to be dominant in 1v1 situations, or if it's a goalkeeper, to defend the space in front of him. These are the stuff we'll look at and then put it in a learning journey at 9 to 17, 18, like I said, to properly prepare these players. At the same time also, how can you take that, and adopt it in your own domestic competition? Because at the end, it's about environment. And if these players are competing in their own domestic environments, it needs to be as close, if not the same, as the international stage, because that's where you aspire for them to compete in 10 years. Even with that, 10 years on, the game may evolve again. So you still have to remain relevant and keep up with whatever is going on. If not, you will be developing players now for the future, but then the game in the future may be different.
They won't fit.
Exactly.
But are we doing that as a country? Where are we now?
We are. As part of the TDS program that we run, there is a high performance specialist assigned to most of the African countries that come in and sit down and have these discussions.
Do we have one for Ghana?
We do.
Okay.
We do. Actually, we are lucky, Ghana, because we have two from our own country that are working. Myself and Anthony Baffo are doing the same job. So we are even lucky. We have more to tap into. But to answer your question, yes, every country is assigned one to look at these things, including their own domestic competition, to including their own developmental pathway, because again, we only don't want the national teams to be competitive. We also want the domestic competitions to be very, very competitive, starting from U17 national team, which for me is my favorite competition, if you ask me, because I love to see the kids grow to that stage and then move on to become professionals. It's just wonderful thing to see. But to answer your question, yes, this is what we do.
Talking about Ray, the other day we were talking about the U17, right?
Yeah, and how
the changes.
The changes in coaching almost every year, every 2 years, every 3 months. We are changing coaches.
We've changed how many coaches at U17.
Yeah.
I don't know, Faisal. I don't know what you make of our own work as a country at U17.
Yeah.
How would you assess what we've done so far at U17? Are we on the right track? In 10 years, are we sure that we are going to have these guys dominating the national team or doing well on the continent? Just looking from your position, very privileged position, and from your technical standpoint, what are we doing at U17?
I think there are some things we are doing right, and there are some things we also need to improve on. What are we doing right? Now I see, I'm trying to pick my words carefully here without, I see there's a mindset change where, every U17 is going to be every year now. So now we need to prepare ahead.
Okay.
So I do see there's a formation of a U15.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's been run because I'm not really, on the ground on a daily basis. But to have that U15 to be the first step and then prepare them for U17, I think it's a good step. So that's some of the things we've embraced. The coaching change, like Raymond mentioned, you need consistency. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The reason why, again, the top teams are the top teams because they are being consistent in the work they do.
Yeah.
Right.
I noticed Spain had Juan Santisteban for many years at under 17 coach. Right?
Yeah.
Even if you go up a level, Argentina had Ray was the gentleman say Peckerman. Peckerman was U20 coach for eons.
Yeah. So I've seen some environments where they change coaches every year. Okay, but the next one that comes in is almost the same as the first one because internally they are very, very aligned.
So there's consistency of thinking and philosophy and the way of doing things.
So you can change the person,
but don't change the
methodology, the principles still remain the same. That is, if you have your coaches aligned, with the work. So yes, coaches may change, but if the coaches are changing and the work still remains the same, the principles are still being enforced, then I don't think there's much to be worried about.
But do we have our principles clearly defined now?
We have a DNA, right? That's why the DNA was made. So again, if you ask me, is it being implemented? I don't know because I'm not really on the ground, right? But in principle, I'm speaking in principle now. If the idea is to use the DNA, to train the coaches first, that's the most important, our coaching courses and how we educate them, and then apply it on the field also for the players, then I think they are doing the right thing. So the coaches may change, but the methodologies and the principles to remain the same. Mm-hmm. And there's been times where a coaching change can be positive because sometimes players get used to one voice and then it becomes the same thing over and over and over again. And then you bring in a new voice, all of a sudden, things work again. But it could be new voice, but same message, same way of doing things. That for me should be the difference. There.
Yeah, Kelvin Ozons has joined us. We were talking, when was it, a few weeks ago? You even made that point about this frequent coaching changes we like to do at U17. And because we've gone in all kinds of directions.
Exactly.
Like we had Laie, then we moved on, then we went in this direction, then we changed Frimpong Manso, then we changed, now we've brought Prosper to Ogum. And all of them are different types of coaches.
Yeah, exactly. And, talking about the DNA and coach with fluidity or consistency, we realize when, the youth coaches pick up, the teams, at times they are allowed to just move on, make that progression. Just like you are saying, with one voice or a similar voice, they chop and change as they go on. So let's say from 15, by the time they get to 17, at least they have a core that would move on with the coach. From 17, they move on with the coach to 20. Now we've seen an under 15 coach, under 16.
Yeah,
remember they had
16
under 16, under 17. All these coaches have been changed in the last 6 months, and then a new coach or new set of coaches have been brought back in again. How does that affect, the flow? Because we're looking at the England under 21 coach.
He's Cowsley.
Exactly.
Cowsley's been there for ages.
And look at how De La Fuente managed to make that progression.
De La Fuente was Spain U21 coach for a very long time.
The number of years Aragona spent with
the national team.
Exactly. And when we realized when we were performing well, the likes of Osam Dodu, Samade, Ike Afrani, Otia Kenten, they worked most times with, our youth till they got to, the senior level. Could that be a factor in, the problems we are finding at our juvenile and then, our youth level football?
Yes, it could be a problem. Let me say this. One thing that I've always pushed for is our youth coaches should be full-time.
Full-time youth coaches?
That I would advocate.
So what, U15, U17,
U19, U17. If the environment is set up right, 19, 20, for me, they're already professionals.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so your best under 19s and 20 should be competing in your top league. So in that sense, you would say, okay, you may not need a full-time coach because they come in during training camps. That's when you use the FIFA windows and all other holidays to bring them in.
Yeah.
If they are competing week in, week out in the top league, not just amateur level, but top league, then you're okay. You can leave the 19s and 20s there. The 15s, 16s, 17s, because it's strictly developmental, you definitely need full-time staff.
So you need to have full-time staff.
You need to have
dedicated
full-time staff.
to.
Dedicated. That for me is we need to do that. They need to be full-time because you are really, really building the fundamentals now. And because if you take it out from the federation into our clubs and academies, the education there is not really the best.
Okay.
It's not really the best, and we have to be honest about it. You need to have your best players in this program full-time. If you work in an environment, let's say England, where the 15s, 16s, 17s are already in top academies like Arsenal, Chelsea, City, then maybe you don't have to have these players full-time. Okay. It's all about the environment. If you have a better environment outside the national team where the players are getting top education, then you probably don't have to worry about bringing them in full-time.
Okay.
Assuming we have 20 Right to Dreams, here in Ghana, the national team, we don't have to worry about setting up a residential or a full-time U16 or U15 teams because the clubs are offering the best of education to the players. Offering means the federation needs to be in collaboration with the clubs. What it is that they're doing, how can we join our resources and provide the best of education to this place, sporting and academic. Then you probably don't need a national federation or you probably don't need full-time. But in our environment, we know the club's environment are not the best. We know the coaching at the foundation level is not the best. So because of that, the federation would have to take lead in developing these players. That's why I'm pushing for a full-time coaching staff, a full-time program where our top players can come in and receive the best of education. And then by 16, 17, if we really set up well, by 17, they should be competing in our domestic league, top level, right?
Recently at the GFA Congress, Kelvin, the FA president, one of the new things they want to do this season is have, what's the number? Is it 4?
Yeah.
Under 20,
yeah,
under 19 players?
Under 19, yeah.
4 players,
mandatory
for all the Premier League teams, and they have to be part of the squad. I guess it's a way of giving them game time.
I've got a problem with that.
Yeah.
And see, this some years ago was introduced in PSL in South Africa.
Yes.
Same thing. We want to have young players.
Yes.
Okay. But guess what the coaches were doing? They start the players, 15 minutes, they take them out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really, really difficult to say to a coach at the top level, you have to play 16, 17-year-olds if they are not ready.
Oh, okay.
For me, a good player is a good player, whether it's 15, 17, 18, 20. If I give you you can't force Barcelona, the coach, to play Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal is that good.
Yeah. He's earned the right to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why not focus on the development side of the player, get them ready, and if they are ready, you don't have to force the coaches to field them on game day.
So in that case, what do we do? You mentioned South Africa. What I know they have is the
Super Disky.
They have changed. Exactly. Youth leagues, but prepare the environment and the pathway that gets them ready by 17 or 18. And if they are ready, you don't have to force a coach to play them. Every coach wants a good player to be on the pitch.
Irrespective of age.
Exactly. So, but if you ignore the education of the player, but rather force the coaches, my job is on the line. And you're forcing me to play 16, 17-year-old who may not be ready, who we've not prepared for the stage. But then you're forcing me to play this player just because it's a rule.
Yeah.
And then I may get fired because I lose.
So as a way of self-preservation, they just won't listen. Or they'll find a way around the rule.
If you ask me to play, okay, I will play. I will start 15, 20 minutes. I'll take him off. You just asked me to start, right? So I will start. But then I will take him off if the player is not ready. But if you give me a player who is ready, you don't have to tell me to start this player. I will start the player. Nobody's forcing Lamine into that Barcelona lineup. He's that good. Nobody's forcing Doué and PSG to be played because he's that good.
Even Max Dorman.
Max Dorman of
Exactly.
Arsenal. Yes.
Nobody's forcing us now to put Dorman at 15 years old because he's that good, right?
Okay.
So I've always said, yes, I get it. We want to develop the players, but let's do it right. Let's focus and invest in the development of the player. So by 17, 18, when you're ready, we don't have to force coaches whose job is on the line, who's getting sacked the next morning, to field a player who is not ready. So if I'm a Premier League player, coach, you're telling me to play 17, 18-year-olds. I have to play them. But then if it doesn't go well, if I lose a game, you're sacking me in the next morning. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it?
Wow, interesting. Let's talk about coaching education. It's one of our favorite topics here.
Yeah.
Kelvin and I and Raymond talk about that a lot.
But Nathan,
yes.
before you move on to this, so coach, with this, looking at our system, I'm sure you've had pathways for other countries. FIFA had, several ways in which, they can help develop the youth, even with less or, inadequate infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like we have here, it's a deficit. How do we get better in making sure that the youth can actually get to the very top and be ready to play?
It's education. It's exactly what Nathan said.
True.
For me, it's
So player
50% of our resources should go to education. You can't develop players without coaches. We can't prepare students without teachers. It's just not done anyway. And again, going back to our metrics, we know now that the top performing countries, there's a strong correlation between the quality of education and the quality of football.
Sporty
We know that. The top 20, 25 countries in the world, if you look at the education programs, right, and the quality of football, you can say, okay, this is the common denominator there. So it goes back to that. How well are we educating our coaches, not our coaches, our coach educators first?
Coach educators.
Before
So the
the
people
coaches.
who
The
teach the
people who
coaches,
coach- yeah,
the
who-
coach's coach or the coach's teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we have a coach educators program? I don't know if we do, but this is step one. And then do we have a coach education program that spreads across the country where we don't have to price coaches out? Because again, in many African countries I've seen, they raised the fees so high that you price coaches out. But who suffers? It's the player that suffers at the end. If the coaches fail to get the education, they go back and teach what they know, and they end up killing our talents. So you may think, okay, I'm raising coach education fees because I want to make money. And the best coaches we know aren't getting paid enough for them to register for these courses. So for that matter, they don't even have interest in seeking education. But if you go down to the foundation, these are the same people that are coaching our talent at that young age. So who are we hurting?
You are right. The other day I was going home. Ray, I'm sure you know the basketball court around Atomic.
Yeah.
You know, there's this wide expanse there, and I was driving home, so I slowed down. I parked and I was just watching. I spent like 10 minutes watching this guy. I don't know what his credentials were, or I don't know what his credentials are.
Yeah.
He's gathered these kids, right? Maybe 10 maximum.
Yeah.
And they have cones. I guess they play, maybe they are a team or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's, coaching them. And I was just standing there watching. And I was just asking myself, what has this guy been taught?
Yeah.
What is he teaching these kids?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that age, and Faisal, you were saying, that age is so important.
Yeah.
It's the start of a footballer's career.
Yeah. It's the ABCs.
It's
and
the
1, 2,
ABC.
3s,
So
yeah.
what is he teaching these little kids?
It's the same, Nathan. I go to Adjourns, I live around, just around there. So most evenings I just swing by and see what's going on. And then you see some coaches, you see more cones being laid out. Okay. Than
Kids have to wait.
kids, the contact time is so low.
When you say contact time, what do we mean? With the ball?
So for like 2-3 minutes, kids will be standing for like 2-3 minutes
okay.
before they touch a ball. And touch a ball means they come in, you throw,
Do
touch,
one
and then they
touch,
go back and stand for another 3-4 minutes before they touch the ball again. And if you have a 90-minute session and your kid is touching the ball 3-4 minutes,
This is
it's a low contact time.
So I guess
The
about
kid is not
25 to 30.
it's not going to
touches.
get better, right? So I don't even have to go to a coaching course to see what they've been taught. I just have to go to a session and see what's been done.
You notice that.
And then you notice, you know what? We have a problem. Not just in Ghana, in most African countries, we have a problem. Because the sessions, how it's been laid out and how it's been progressed, really doesn't optimize the development of the
So in this case, what should the GFA do to mop up all these coaches who are probably outside the structure? What can be done to bring them all in to ensure that they are properly grounded? Clearly, this is something they want to do.
Yeah, the education has to be easily accessible. We have to find ways for the coaches at the foundation and the coach level
Sporty FM.
to get the education one way or the other. We can't price them out. We can't hold education like it's gold where you really have to struggle to get it. For me, it's the wrong approach. Make it as easily accessible as possible. Let the coaches see what sessions should look like. Make them see it. For me, that's the best way to learn. In some countries, they have regional developmental officers that go around and supervise some of this stuff. If you have the resources to do it, great. If you don't have it, still find ways. Social media, YouTube. There are many, many avenues where you can pass on this education to the coaches at that level. It's so, so important. Other than that, we'll be killing our talents.
It's
Nathan, I think this also behoves on government. Like I mentioned, those coaches in the past, they had a similar philosophy. Coach Adusei, Afrane, Samade, you get it all from the Winneba Sports College, and then they had one style, one model. So if Muntari moves from Samade to Afrane, the difference is minimal. You won't see a huge difference because they've all been trained or they've received education from one specific area. There's a reason why, the players for France, the defenders, they all play in a similar style. You look at Upamecano, you look at Saliba, you look at Konate. It's all because of that sort of training. But now we don't have the college assistants. So I think that if the government want to see football, their investment in football now, if Kofi Adams is listening, this behoves on him.
They should try the schools. You see,
and
because
then
get
back the sports colleges and make it work.
Okay.
Because there you can have lots more coaches receiving education where government would pay for. We
second them to the secondary
Thank you.
schools.
We talk about Morocco. It's all because of government and then the kids' involvement in all that. Now coaches, I'm sure they are do I say teaching or building up the next generation of coaches that are looking forward to dominating African and world football.
You speak about that. I remember reading, was it Rio Ferdinand's book, Two Sides?
Yeah.
And he spoke about his shock when he discovered that Germany had, was it 2 or 3 times the number of coaches at that level as compared to England. Right? And he was saying that no wonder they were doing better because the development at that age was strong. And Faisal, you mentioned the Germans had to almost pull down the structure and build it all over again. And 10 years after they did, they were winning the World Cup. So it's all there, right? It's all in the base.
It's not rocket science at all. It's not,
Just hope they get to that level, and then I think with the FA they know the coaches and how each coach understands certain things and at different levels. There's the reason why I get annoyed when this morning I see Kasim Mingolo Kansi as Black Galaxy's coach. Samuel Bodu is back as assistant, and then there is Godwin Atram as second assistant.
But you see what's going on. It's just a coaching reshuffle carousel. Like, go here, go here. I want to see new breed of coaches.
Exactly.
I want to see some young coaches that are coming in. But
just like you say, they are priced out of
as a country, we haven't even organized a license in how many years? In years.
In close to 8 years.
8 years.
That's the problem.
We haven't organized
from
a license
2017. We haven't.
So you have all these brilliant coaches with golden kick.
Parker
Hansen, Abu Kasim with police ladies. And now when it comes to the crunch, they don't have the paperwork.
Hamza Obey and all.
So every year I see this. A coach qualifies a Division 1 team to Premier, and then they have to step aside because they're not well qualified. For the past 4 or 5 years. But
that has
again,
been
how have we solved it? This is my question. We have this problem every single year, but we've not solved it. Right? So these coaches would continue to qualify teams only to be sidelined. Police ladies had to bring in Basigi because the coach was not qualified. Right. But we face it every year, but we've not actually solved it.
But in all of this, if I want to become a coach at the top level, shouldn't I be investing in myself?
You should be.
Yeah, that's one part of the argument.
That's one. Yeah, but investing in yourself means seeking education.
Yes.
Right? But where is the education?
No, so I would have to go abroad.
But it's not easy, Raymond.
No, so
it's not. How much do our coaches get paid in this country?
A coach like your friend Desmond.
Desmond Affair.
He invested in himself.
But Desmond wasn't.
You know where he came from.
Here. Desmond was educated in Belgium, where
he grew up and he has
Desmond
everything.
grew up in Belgium, so access.
So Parker Hansen, he looks at himself and says, "Well, this is where I want to be in the next few years." He spends time to take himself out. A coach like Kingston,
yes.
He was here.
Yeah, but again, it's the opportunities, right?
So I feel
Right to Dream gave Laya the opportunity. Took him to Denmark.
But
we are talking 1 out of what, 100?
Yeah, but I feel coaches should not coaches would not have to wait.
Ray,
We are waiting to do the
my
license. It's not happening.
counter
I
argument is
still want
that
to
if,
become
for
a top
example,
coach.
Yeah.
if for
Let's go
example,
out.
if for
you
example,
can't
I'm
just
a
go
coach.
out. This is how it works.
Okay.
If I'm a coach in Ghana
Okay.
and I want to do a license in South Africa or whatever, I have to seek permission from the FA
Yeah.
to go, right?
Yeah.
And then the FA can say, no, you can go, or no, you're not going, or yes, you can go because we want to organize it. And again, it's a moneymaker, right?
They're not organizing it.
So again,
But the FA is not organizing
the FA
license.
are
A.
not.
Go.
So
But as
they're not.
Faisal is saying, it's not an easy process. You may or may not get clear.
It's like a player without ITC. How do you
Yeah,
go?
yeah.
No, but if the FA is supposed to be at the heart of all of this to make sure we do the A, and they're not doing it, and I want to go out. I mean, you shouldn't stop it.
But how do you
shouldn't
go
make
out?
it
What
difficult for me.
you just reach out and then you just pack your bag and get up and say I'm going? It doesn't work.
It doesn't
If you
work that
come
way.
to me in South Africa and you want to do it, I have to look after my coaches first. So if I have 25 openings in an A license, I'm going to look at the 25 coaches in South Africa before I look outside. So you can't just get up and say, okay, I want to go do
There's
A
no
license in
guarantee.
South Africa.
Yeah, there's no
right?
guarantee.
And then I just want to go. No, I'm South Africa. My first responsibility is my coaches. And if I have 26 coaches that I've registered, why should I give one to somebody coming from
So I'm
somewhere
going to
else?
stay stuck.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's Ray. That's where we
That's
are
the
now.
problem we are facing now.
Because you see, Parker Hansen,
you know,
Abu Kasim, all these other brilliant, even the Swedru All Blacks head coach,
Yeah.
he's walked away from this.
Hamza Oben. Hamza
Oben.
qualified Vision. Brilliant football. He came to
You know.
He
the
can't.
Premier League.
And it's
he
Nanajiman.
could-
Nanajiman
yes,
had to
Nanajiman
handle
had to come in.
because
So
at the end, it's every federation that's responsible to look after their people. It's as simple as that.
yeah.
Right.
So our federation is not looking after us.
I did not say that.
That's
No, but that's a variance. I mean,
It has
No,
a,
but
we haven't organized the A license in
so our
years.
federation is, making life difficult for
But
some
the
of our
truth is,
coaches.
we are
It doesn't
behind.
work.
We are behind.
And look, we say we have problem with education, but how have we solved it? Okay, who are our educators?
Yeah.
Part-time coach education manager. For me, you can't be the minister of education be part-time. It's not possible. Or director of education at the school, you can't be part-time.
It's
a full-time job.
Exactly.
job.
So if we say we have an education problem and we want to solve it, I want to see proper and deliberate steps being taken. Okay, let's get somebody full-time in this position to
But
oversee
the
our
FA has,
education.
there's a head of coaching education. That's Prosper.
But he's also in charge of what?
U17,
And
yeah.
now he's focusing
Dr.
on
Nato.
U17 for the qualifiers, and then education stands, and there is no assistant, there is no full-time educators.
Yeah.
So these are the things that
And even
I
with
want
him,
to see.
he just got in because it was Desmond.
It was Desmond who also
Desmond
added.
was head of
And
coaching
before
2
Desmond,
million
it was
things
Professor
going on.
Minta.
Professor
You-
Minta,
So,
So-
we've changed it, for like in the last 2 years. 3 people have come in to handle it. From Professor Minta to Desmond, now to Prosper Nateogum. And just like Coach is saying, he's now focused on under 17.
I want to see full-time focus on
So like
education.
full-time
Full
coach,
staff, not just one.
like a full-time staff
head of
for
coach
coach
education, and
education.
full-time educators
Okay.
that are working with it. I want to see that. That's one thing I would, if I wake up tomorrow and that has been done by the FA, I would say hallelujah. For me, if we say we want to improve our game, I want to see massive investment in education. I really want to see that.
So in terms of FIFA's broad plan, is it a conversation you'd love to have with maybe Mr. Wenger or the people you work with on?
Yeah.
Do you think FIFA should maybe get closer to federations like ours and others on the continent so that there can be some maybe stronger support to ensure that the coaching education pillar is so strong?
We are there. We are, again, look, you can force the horse to the riverside, but you can't force it to drink.
Yeah.
That's the situation we are in now. We have been preaching a lot on education. Honestly, like for me, 50% of resources at the federation should be on education. You can preach all you want, right? But it's up to the people and the locals to either accept it and adopt it. And that's where we are now. But education for us, even at FIFA, okay? Before Wenger came in, it used to be competitions. Let's just organize competitions, make money, and then go home and sleep. Now it's changed. Now we are heavily focused on education, bringing in people, studying the game, looking at metrics. How can we take the findings, feed it back into the whole football ecosystem? Because this is the way we can increase competitiveness of the teams and the competitions. It's through education. And 50% of our work now is education and supporting the member associations and the confederations and running their own education program. It's so important. It's the fastest way to grow the game and increase competitiveness of teams. It's education. If the quality of education is good, I guarantee you the quality of competition, the quality of players would massively improve. It's that simple as that.
So education is key. Faisal, as we wrap it up, my final question to you, Kelvin, I don't know if you have a question. Kelvin, do you?
Well, Coach, there's one thing that bothers my mind. If a coach gets to the competitive level, someone like, let's say, Marino, or even Wenger for Alex Ferguson, for the number of years they stay there, let's say 5, 6, 10 years, that all they do is competition to win and win and win. When the coach is brought back to a developmental level, is it not a distraction, and would he be able to perform or deliver as expected with those youth footballers?
I wouldn't say it's a distraction. You have to adapt. Let me put it that way. You just have to know. This is one thing about coaching. You always have to know what's in front of you, the player in front of you, okay, the profile of the player, the age, characteristics, history, background, family. You have to know. Football really doesn't change no matter what level you are in. It's just how you deliver to the person in front of you and the recipient. So at the highest level, the principles are still the same. The game movements are the same. You attack, you defend, you transition between the two. You coach people. So if I'm at the highest level and I've come back to coach 9, 10 or 12-year-olds, I just have to adapt the message to the 9, 10, 12-year-olds. But the football is still the same. Okay. So what I would say to a professional player, I would not say to a 9, 10 or 12-year-old. What I would demand from a complete player would be different from, a 9, 10, 12-year-old. If an 18, 19, 20-year-old is trying to hit a diagonal pass across the field, I expect that 19, 20-year-old to do it perfectly. If a 9, 10, 12-year-old is trying to do that, I won't look at the results, but look at the attempt right behind it, because that's what I'm interested in. So you just have to adapt to who is in front of you and how you communicate, and also the demands of the game and who's in front of you. So it shouldn't really change, depending on what level you are coaching at. It's just how you deliver the message and the demands that you ask from the person in front of you. You'll be much more patient with 10, 12-year-old than you would with the 19, 20-year-old. It's just as simple as that.
But would you trust someone like Marino or Conte to handle your under 17 or 20?
Yes, if they can adapt to the people in front of them, and which I think they will. Don't forget, Mourinho was once in development. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I actually think it's better because now they know what it takes to coach at that level. Just bring it down lower, age or two, but then adapt the message and the demands of what you're asking for. Right? Like I said, if 12-year-old is hitting diagonal pass, I'm not interested in the outcome of it. I'm interested in the bravery to do it, the attempt to do it, and the skill to do it. So I would lower my feedback to that player. If I'm coaching at a senior level, I need the outcome. So
if he hits a diagonal, he has to
hit it right. Yeah. Right? Hit it right. And that's what the message or the feedback will be to that player. But if it's a younger player, I'm not worried about the outcome. If you do it and you fail, do it again. Yeah. Do it again.
The fact that he thought of it,
exactly,
tempted it.
And the bravery to do it is what I'm interested in. So I would encourage more of those rather than the outcome. Maybe 1 out of 10 he would get it right. I'm okay because we're remaining consistent with it. But at the highest level, I wouldn't accept 1 out of 10 because I need results. So it's just adapting the message and the feedback and the demands to whoever is in front of you. It shouldn't really change because the game is the game. In my opinion, yeah.
Wonderful.
And Coach, just this last one. Yeah. After tournaments, after football seasons, we see, all the technical heads or the coaches come together, they review the season, they talk about their own tactics.
The documents are made public.
Thank you. On the local scene.
Yeah.
We don't see it. And from us to, as a Wenger's department wanting to make things better.
Yeah.
High performance.
How are you helping or advocating for those who don't do
more
it?
conversations
Exactly, to be had, because especially here we finish the season and you wouldn't even get to know, because I'm sure that education will be, from maybe some Obodo's idea may be important and could be adopted by Prosper Natiogumi, could be adopted by Max Oknadu, could be adopted by Frimpong Manton. How are you advocating for it to for that to be very much dominant in Africa?
100% agree with you. And again, this is something we've been really pushing the African federations to do. It goes back again to your head of education being full-time, okay? If you have a full-time person in charge of education, and sometimes we mention education, people just think organizing courses. It's just a small part of it.
Okay.
So the example you just gave now should be the job of a head of education. While the games are going on, together with his team or her team, how are we collecting, findings from the game, what it is that we are looking at? It doesn't have to wait until the end of the season. In some countries, they do it every 4 weeks, depending on what stage of development they are, to say, okay, after every 4 weeks, we take a break, no game, all coaches come together, this is what we've gathered, right? We've found out that most of our players are shooting from 50, 60 yards like we see in Ghana Premier League. The XG there is very low.
Why are they doing it?
We found out that, okay, at the international level, we need to be dominant 1v1s on the outside lanes. We don't see that a lot in our game. So coaches, we needed to focus on that. Show them the facts, collect information, present it back to them, let them also discuss. Or maybe, Nathan, I saw your team do this. They build up from the back nicely. Could you share with the rest of the coaches how it's done? Be open, all right? Be vulnerable about it, because it's going to make you even better. Bring them together. This is also part of the education program. So it's not just organizing courses and taking fees and then they go and do whatever they want. That's a small part of it. The bigger one is what you've just explained. What it is that we are collecting from our own environment and how can we find solutions to that. So it shouldn't wait until the end of season over only, especially if you are behind in education. But this should happen for me every year. From year to year, from last year, Ghana Premier League, what do we know? What were the findings? Weaknesses, areas of strength that we need to build on? We don't know. But we're going to start a new season, and it's going to be the same thing, and the coaches would do the same thing they did last year, not knowing where they need to fix. It goes back to what you were saying, they need to invest in themselves, but they don't know who is leading this.
Ray, and then finally, when we put them on the African continent to play in the CAF Champions League, the Confed Cup, and then realize that
because the game is totally different, right? So same thing, like head of coach education, okay, this is where we are. At CAF level, this is what we are saying. At FIFA level, this is what we are saying. So we need to close this gap. Here it is, take it back into your environment, okay? Or you need help, we are going to come in your environment to look at your training sessions. Let's sit down, let's talk. This could be the work of coach educators or developmental officers that are in the regions. This is how we improve the game. But if we don't, it's the reason why I'm saying I want 50% of our resources to go into education. And it's broad. It's not just let's organize courses, let's take money and come. For me, the certification is nothing. We can all get it. But how to apply it in their own environment, seeking guidance, is what we lack now. And the coaches, when you speak to them, they want that. They really want that. A lot of them reach out and say, look, we see you covering AFCON, we see you covering World Cup. What are the emerging trends? How can we apply in our environment? And they're happy to have it in their environment. But we need to find somebody who's leading that in our own terrain. If not, then we'll continue to do the old stuff that we've been doing for many, many years and then expect a different outcome. It will not work. It's very clear and simple. It won't work.
Well, Faisal, I want to take off your FIFA hat and then, let's do Ghanaian talk. You are Ghanaian.
Sani said hi, by the way.
Hello to him. Faisal, let's look at our Black Stars. Okay. In recent times, opinion has remained divided over the role of the head coach. Okay. And yesterday, if you listen to the commentary around, the minister said he was not impressed with the work of Otuado. Other people in the political space have also expressed concerns. From where you sit as a Ghanaian and somebody who understands the game, if we qualify to the World Cup, do you believe that Otto would be the right man to still take this team to the World Cup and possibly perform?
I don't think, how should I say this? Nobody knows if he's going to be the right man or not. Okay, that's just to answer this straightforward. Nobody knows. Okay, but the question I want to put back to you also is, in our own environment, what have we also done to support that? Okay, I do understand your concerns about the performance of the team. Yes, we all agree that it needs to improve. I don't think Otto himself would shy away from that. But what have we also all done in our environment to support that? For sure, we would have to improve in many, many areas. I think that's clear. Nobody can run away from that. But we all need to support that. Of course, we all need to play a role to support that. Sometimes the noise... This is the team that I've probably seen the most noise around. It's so much. And in one way or the other, it affects what they do. Believe me or not, it does. So if we all need to come together and say, okay, things are not going well, we really need to perform well, then we all have a role to play in this case. So yes, we need to do better, but we all have to play our role in supporting this. As to if it's going to be the right man or not, nobody can give you that answer. Nobody can give you that answer. But if this is what we have, then let's do what we have to do, and then prepare our teams better for that.
Right, Kelvin, you have a question?
Yeah, Coach. And simply on that, I just like we were talking about player development, why players shoot from 60 years, and many at times complain that coaches don't teach players in execution of lots of things. But is it solely about? Is it always about the coach, or when a player is not quality enough or has missed, to do the simplest things, it all gets back to the coach's fault. How do you solve that dilemma of a player who is consistently making the same mistakes when he could have actually acted in a better way?
At what level? At the highest level? Or?
At the highest level.
At the highest level.
Someone like I still think that a player like Martinelli gives less off. Jeremy Doku gives less off, in the final third. His SG is very low, just like Martinelli also does. Yeah. How do you solve that problem? Because many are worried with decision-making in the national team for some of our players.
Yeah. Look, in the national team environment, right, this is like 20%. We have this rule, the 80-20 rule, where players spend 80% at clubs and then 20% with the national teams, because there's not a lot of contact time at the national team level, at the highest level. So some of this stuff, you would say, the players should be able to do that at the club level. But if you have a player that struggles with that at a national team level, it's difficult for a national team coach to solve that in the match window. So really, really difficult. And to solve that means lots of quality training. That's pretty much the recipe for that. So you would expect players at that level to master that skill at the club level, in my opinion. And if it's, again, you can master it, but you're still going to run into one or two times where it may not go well. But it does come down to the coach. It does come down to training. But you can't solve that at national team level, in my opinion, because of the number of times you meet. At the club level, you expect the player to run through those training sessions and mastering that skill, and then just hope it gets better. But the quality of the training, for me, is the most important. So yes, it does come down on the coach, And yeah, you know,
Well,
Right.
it's not an easy one to answer, but you know,
so if at club level,
Yeah.
at club level, such a player, how do you deal with him? Maybe
it's training, and if it's
still not pulling his weight, but he offers something extra, maybe his work rate and all that.
there are only few players in the world that can give you everything. Messi's that have everything. Everyone else, it's either good at something and then bad at something. So again, that's why when you're selecting players or signing players, you look at what the player has and what they bring and what you can add to the player. You're never going to get a complete player at any level unless you are, like I said, Messi.
Messi,
But
right.
how many Messis are in the world?
Very few.
right.
Coach, yesterday Raymond was fighting here
What is your problem?
because he says he
coach,
walkie-talkie coaching and all that.
Coach,
I want you to kindly give us now the modern terms of coaching. Those who use earpiece, the screens.
Wait.
What happens?
You see,
What happens
I'm not
outside the
in dispute.
dugout
Yeah.
that
I'm not
we
in-
don't know?
Wait, Kelvin, wait. I'm not in dispute when it comes to coaches receiving assistance from their video analysts and all.
Yeah.
It is done. It's modern.
Yeah.
My challenge is when you have a coach who is so bad that
That's a strong
who is so
word.
bad to the extent that he needs a teacher, an instructor outside the field. And again, he needs all his video analysts to be alert, to be coaching him on the touchline. That is my problem. Now he becomes a walkie-talkie coach. That was my concern.
No comment.
No, then I am worried. Because the coach is not himself. Okay, he needs a technical advisor to be micromanaging him.
No, that's not true.
No, coach, is that an added advantage? Looking at what we see in the modern game, where communication,
Of course.
No, complication is an added advantage. But I'm saying that when the coach is on the touchline and he has to be coached again by his technical advisor and his
But
video
who said
analyst.
he's been coached?
He said he's in coach.
They're sharing information. It's information sharing, right?
Information sharing.
Yeah,
okay.
it's information sharing.
So let's call it information sharing.
Yeah, it's information sharing,
So
and then
technical advisor as well is doing information sharing.
That's what it is.
Okay, very
You
well.
know, everybody sees the game differently.
Yeah. So
Right.
my concern is, look, if you have a top-notch coach, an A-class coach, he would not need a technical
Is
advisor.
Ateta A class or no A class?
Oh, he's a class.
Don't you see the communication?
No, I'm saying, but he doesn't need a technical advisor. He doesn't need another teacher to be teaching him when he's on the touchline.
Raymond,
In our case,
in our case, what has happened?
we have Grandpa Schaefer now taking our coach through
but his
all
advisor.
the basics.
His advisor.
But how do you know he's taking him through the basics?
Technical advisor.
Yeah.
Wilfred.
Yeah.
Do you see him at training? When the Black Stars go to training, do you see Wilfred Schaefer? Almost as if he's the coach.
Where do you see his positioning?
But
Where do you see his
see,
positioning?
This is one. Let me say this. Right? At the national team level, especially the A team, if you look at the number of training sessions they have before the game, it's just minimal.
Yes,
it's just not enough. So, in many environments, they actually bring in more coaches. This, for me, we could also actually bring in our U23 or U20 coaches in sessions like this, and then divide up the task, right? You're probably going to have a day and a half session before a game, depending on what stage the team in. If you think you've been consistent enough where you've covered, as many topics as you would before the game, then yeah. But how you structure the session so you can tackle as many topics as possible before you go into the game, for me, matters. So if you're a new coach and you're getting to know your players and the team, and you only have a day and a half session, in that 1 day session, you probably have to divide the task for different people.
But Faisal,
yeah.
which coach or coaches need technical advisors?
Why are you so concerned about this?
So which coach or coaches require technical advice?
Some have it public, some don't.
Okay. But which coaches, which class of coaches or which group of coaches? Kevin, I know you're interested in this.
I don't know.
I think every coach needs that. If there should be.
Let me listen, a big thank you to you. Big thank you to you, Abdul Faisal Chibsah. Himself a former player, you know. He used to play. But you can still play, right?
I try.
Yeah. These days, because of other matters, I'm sure.
What matters?
You know.
Skill is still there.
Yeah, so Faisal is the high performance specialist at FIFA Global Football, and he is here with us this morning to share his thoughts with us on football matters, general football matters, coaching, player behavior, tournaments, participation, all of that. And he shared his thoughts on Black Stars as well. And he doesn't want to go into the matter of Otuado and, you know, whether he stays on as coach post-World Cup qualification or not.
Let's support him.
You know, yeah, he supports him 100%, and he believes that he'll do a good job at the World Cup. Faisal, thank you very much for your time on the show this morning.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you, and hopefully I'll be having you join us, more often.
The last time I came here, you guys promised me a show. I never heard anything.
Yeah, so
your producer said they were going to give me a show.
Right. So
maybe I need to speak to Gary now.
Yes. We have to talk about
anytime
high performance.
Anytime.
But we don't have any high performance center in Ghana.
So this is a dream of mine. Join me for us to.
The countries you talk about these days. Yeah. They've invested in it. So maybe it's a conversation. And that is why when we go and meet the president and want to go and ask questions, our constituency is taken out.
They didn't call us. When
our constituency is not there, you have problems. Because these are some of the things we should put in front of the president. So that he realizes that the 64 million Ghana cedis he gives to the sports ministry is woefully inadequate.
Yes.
To do some of these things.
Very much inadequate.
Yeah, we need a high performance center.
You do.
Yeah,
one that looks after everything. One thing that's really killing our talent here, I don't know if people have seen it or not, it's injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries are killing our talent in this country.
Yeah. That's true.
Players go down, and some of them, it stays with them throughout their career, and then they move outside, and then it becomes a problem. They fail medicals, or they can compete at the next level. So it's an area that we really, really want to look into. And you mentioning this high performance center now, if we have a place where injuries can properly be taken care of, proper diagnosis and remedy and all that, we need that. It's a huge part of our game that we are missing, and it's killing our talent in this country. We need to do something about it.
It's very important, Charlie. Raymond, I've seen certain players, they get injured and they don't come back the same. Pierre McCarthy.
McCarthy.
Brilliant footballer. But after those injuries, he's never been the same player again. Hartlepool had this midfielder, that Rasta guy, he used to play Nuruddin.
Aziz.
He hasn't been the same again. He was a brilliant talent. So just
hope love to see government invest.
Exactly. Andrews in Team Menu Kotoko had an excellent season last year. I'm just hoping he would have, that very good treatment at Kotoko, because he was getting to that peak where you could understand that, even at local Black Stars level, or even sit on the bench of the Black Stars at a certain point, looking at what Salis and Elijah are doing. So hopefully he gets back stronger then.
Right, guys, thank you very much for your time on the show this morning.
Guys,
this is still the Sporty Breakfast. 3 in Kumasi.
Everybody ride her just like a bus route.
Just a bit of good news for you, our Sporty lovers, our Sporty fans, our Sporty listeners, and our Sporty FM, our Sporty TV viewers. Sporty TV and Sporty FM will bring you the World Athletics Championships Tokyo 2025 live and free across Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa. Yes, Sporty TV, Sporty FM got you in terms of bringing you live coverage of the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. So you can watch the World Athletics Championships on Sporty TV, and you can follow updates on Sporty FM as well. And we're also live on YouTube, and so you can follow the action live on our platforms. And on Sporty FM, our man Kawawa is on the beat. Our man would be bringing us updates from Team Ghana's camp and everything that will be happening at the championships. Team Ghana have 8 athletes representing us, and we'll be taking part in 400 meters, 800 meters, the 4x100 relay, and high jump as well. So you can join the action on Sporty TV and Sporty FM live and free over the next 2 weeks. The competition starts on September 13 through to September 26. So Sporty FM got you. Sporty FM, as always, we tell you we are the voice of sport, and we'll make sure we are the voice at the 2025 World Athletics Championships. There's a bit of discussion to get into as far as the Rugby League is concerned. We'll be doing that before we take the show home. But let me remind you that at 10:05 a.m., Nathan Kwa will bring you Inside French Football. And let me remind you that this weekend, the Ghana Premier League returns. The Ghana Premier League is back. Kick-off tomorrow. And tomorrow, the official kickoff at the Accra Sports Stadium would have the President in attendance. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, will be at the official kickoff of the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League season. Match day 1 would feature Accra Hearts of Oak and Hoho United. Hearts of Oak will take on newly promoted Hoho United in a game that should excite fans. 7 p.m. kickoff happening at the Accra Sports Stadium. Make sure you are there. There'll be a curtain raiser between the Black Starlets and Auroras FC, and that's a game that would kick off at 4 p.m. So all roads would lead to the Accra Sports Stadium tomorrow for the official kickoff of the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League season, and His Excellency the President will be in attendance. Performing live would be Stone Boy. So something to do on Friday night. The Ghana Premier League is back, and we bring you action from the Accra Sports Stadium. So I'm joined by members of the Rugby League Federation Ghana. Rugby League Federation Ghana. They are here with me this morning, and we'll get into a bit of discussion around what they've been doing over the last few weeks and what they intend to do, what's coming up with them over the next few days. And I'm joined in studio by
Jafar Aoud Mustafa, General Manager, Rugby League Federation Ghana.
Hilaria Waku, Communications Lead, Rugby Federation Ghana.
Leslie Bodu, a player of the Bulls.
Great. Oh, the Bulls, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. I hear you're in action this weekend. But let me start with you, Jafaru.
Yeah.
What's been up with Rugby League?
Okay,
Federation?
so
I know you've been in Kumasi over the last few days. What's been going on?
Okay, so as a federation, as part of our 5-year plan, we intend to be in 3 regions and actively playing the sports very well. Not to just set up and leave. We just want to set up the whole structure of the games and everything. So last week we were in the Ashanti region to inaugurate the Ashanti Regional Rugby League executives, and then to also launch a youth tournament for boys and girls.
Okay.
So as we speak now, officially there is Rugby League in Ashanti region, and we are playing 4 schools. That is Pentecost Senior High, Edoman Senior High, Efijai, Sectec, and then St. Michael's. And all these schools are playing both boys and girls. We intend to get the games to Central Region also, but for now, that is what is happening in the Ashanti region.
Right. Hilary, let's talk a bit about what you intend to do in the Ashanti region. And we are told that there's a plan to organize youth tournaments and all. When are we expecting to see all of these kick off?
Okay, so last week we launched the youth championship and then it has started. So this Friday is week 2 of the championship, and it's history because this is the first time we are playing a youth championship in the Ashanti region. So it's been great so far, the performances, the coaches, and we also had our first officiating program which happened as part of the inauguration. So we have new people who are taking charge of the games, and the first week with their performance, it was great. So we look forward to having something better this coming week.
Right. Jafaru, let's get into a bit of what you've been doing in Accra and what's been happening in the Rugby League. What's happening this weekend?
Okay, so this weekend is the playoff. We finished 2 rounds of the games, and our defending champions Bulls are currently locking on with Tigers for a slot in the finals against College. That is next week. So next week, September 21st is the finals.
Okay.
And Bulls and White Tigers are setting pace to decide who makes that cut. For the record, Bulls have won both first leg and second leg, but Tigers sent me here today. They said Bulls is the next job.
So you are representing Tigers?
Yes.
You know.
They are saying this Sunday what they are telling it the next job. And when they say the next job, it means they are coming to clear this one and then move to the finals.
Right. Let me bring in my Bulls player. And I mean, you've heard what the message the Tigers have sent to you. What should you expect from the Bulls this weekend?
For the Bulls, mentally, we are prepared because anytime we step on the pitch, we know that yes, we know the job we are come to do, we know what we want. So mentally, we are prepared. But I mean, let's not talk much. Let's be the underdogs right now. So anything that happens, it will be on the pitch, and they will see what we are coming.
But you've won back-to-back games against them already, and clearly put you in that line as firm favorites going into this one. We can't see you as underdogs going into this one.
Anything can happen.
Or you say
Scholars
it's.
can tell.
Well, so as part of your plan against your plan for the weekend. How do you intend to possibly get the job done to get to the finals this next week?
Speaking to the boys and seeing what they are ready for, you could see that they are already, into the game. You see, they know what they want. We know what we want to do, and this is not the end. This is not the final one. So it's just a milestone to get to where we want to get to. And right now, we are working towards that. Mentally, we are prepared. Physically, too, the boys are fit. So I believe in them.
Jafaru, for the Tigers, are you seeing this as can you say the Tigers have picked lessons from their first 2 defeats and this could be the time they make amends?
Yes, I think so, because for a team who in the first one had less numbers and even scored Accra Panthers with less numbers, and then had a whole retreat where they went to study the game again, come back and beat Scholars.
41.
28.
Scholars are supposed to be the champions.
They beat Bulls all that time, but Scholars lost to Tigers.
Okay.
And they have now a strong team capable of doing a lot of damage. The only issue is last 2 weeks they lost to Bulls.
Exactly.
And then Bulls also have beaten Scholars now. So it looks very, very open.
Yeah, that's a very, very open, a very tight contest.
You can't determine it just by sitting down here. I can tell you. The only thing I can tell the 2 teams is they shouldn't become referees.
Okay.
They shouldn't become referees, and if they don't become referees on the day, the one that keeps quiet is the one who is going to win the match.
Okay.
Yes. So that is it for me.
But Hilary, so when is this playoff happening? Where is it happening? And give me reasons to attend. Give our listeners reasons to be there.
Okay, so I like history.
Okay.
And it's happening at the University of Ghana Rugby Stadium this Sunday at 2 p.m. You need to come and watch because just like Jafaru is saying, both teams are prepared mentally. You can't really tell who is going to win or who is not going to win because personally, I'm supporting Tigers publicly, but low-key I'm supporting Bulls. So you need to just come and watch because it will be the first time Tigers will make it to the finals and everybody's looking forward to it. Personally, I'm looking forward to it. So it's a must to watch because there's nothing much to say. You just need to come because the players hits will be hitting, the runs will be running, the tries will be trying, the conversions will be converting. So Charlie, you just need to be there.
Right. Let me speak to the one man who would be on the pitch. What position do you play? As if I know. what position do you play? You are running back? Or you are a linebacker?
I'm a fullback.
You're a fullback.
Yeah, fullback.
So you don't have linebackers?
No, we don't have linebackers. So we have wingers, forwards, backs.
Okay.
So it's a fullback.
Oh, it's a fullback.
Yeah, fullback like the last man.
Oh, okay. So you are the last man. Okay.
Exactly.
So, playing the sport, take me to it. How exciting is it?
For its excitingness, you see, the game itself, when someone comes to watch it at the first bat and sees it, they'll be like, oh, this game is this game. They have a lot of comments and, bad views. But I was on the sidelines and I was like, nah, let me try this game and see. That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I started playing rugby like 2 years ago. I started and as time went on, even though I go and be like, I won't play again, I just come back. I come back to the game. And even like if something happens, the next day you see me on the pitch again. And I still go back. And I also like it when my players actually, it's the family inside the game that actually, spike me up. Because every time someone puts me back up, every time my players will help me, my players will do something for me to get back on my feet. And, that's like the bond we share. So that's why I'm still playing rugby league.
Right. That's good to hear. I think I have a Tigers player joining me. It's also a Bulls player.
Yeah, so they are brothers.
Oh, they are brothers.
Yeah,
okay, so because it's just joined. Let me introduce yourself and then quick thoughts on what we should expect from the Bulls this weekend before we wrap up.
Okay, so my name is Kevin Buedu.
Yeah,
I play for Bulls.
What position do you play?
I'm a forward.
You're a forward. Okay. So you do a lot of the conversions and all.
No, the hitting.
You do the hitting. Yeah. Look at his build. Yeah, you can hit, but okay, yeah, that's right. So who does the conversion? Which player does the conversion? The fullback.
The backs or the fullback, but it's one of the kickers for.
Oh, I see.
They are the ones that determine the game actually.
Yeah. Oh, then you might get a play part.
Yeah, you should come and see him. I think the last match they played with Tigers, it was a draw at the first half, and then in the second half, Leslie did some.
He did magic.
Yeah.
Charlie. This weekend I have to watch it, guys. But let me hear from my forward because he's going to do a lot of hitting.
Exactly.
So what message do you have for the Tigers?
Yeah, they should be prepared because we are coming for them, and we are going to retain that trophy. Yeah.
I'm sure, I'll be looking forward to having another discussion before the Scholars final. Because Scholars are already in the finals, right? So this is the playoff that sends another team to join them.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll have another conversation before the finals. Yes. And I want to see you bring all the Scholars and all the players so that we get into it.
We should have had a conversation after they lost.
Yes. I remember.
They were beaten by Bulls. Something one, right?
Historical.
Yeah.
35 something one.
Monumental.
So it should be an interesting weekend. I'll join you guys. I'll come and see how things go. But your final words.
Okay, so apart from the playoff on Sunday, the youth tournament happening in Kumasi this weekend on Friday. So there'll be 4 schools playing again in their second round. There's also the women who are training to go to Nigeria on October 2nd. They are playing against Nigeria, who is going for a World Cup qualifier in Canada. Yes. Okay. So we are asking for support for the women because we need to travel. We have the traveling and accommodation, but feeding medicals. We need a little help from that angle. Then there's the e-rugby league version. We're playing the video games.
Oh, okay.
With Kwesi. We are playing the video game session. And at the moment, Dragon, that the new boy, that the Gen Z, so that we accept. They are the ones leading the charts, followed by Panthers, Scholars, and then Bulls are the last.
Wow. There's an e-version as well.
Yeah, we are playing the same, like both first round and second round.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Bulls have decided to be on the pitch and leave the field for us. But we are also mashing up that place. No. Then next week there's World Cleanup Day. We are going to join Let's Do It Ghana and the rest to clean up the beach, like Labadi Beach, to ensure that we are also taking care of the environment. Because we believe that the beach is our playground as well. And then finally, the men's finals is on 21st. We will bring Scholars and the winner here.
Okay, right. We'll be looking forward to that.
Bulls, yeah.
Final words from the Bulls?
No, we on the pitch we'll say everything. We are on the field, so
yeah.
When it gets to that
you don't
time,
talk much.
Exactly.
Your action is on the field.
Exactly.
Right, Hillary, your final words.
Okay, so I would still reiterate what Jafaru said. We need more supporters. We need more sponsorship in terms of money. So kindly get in touch with us on our social media handles, and then let's grow a sport, and then let's make things happen. Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on Sporty Breakfast. It's been a pleasure having you. And the Bulls, I wish you all the best. Tigers, I wish you all the best too. And on Sunday, all roads lead to the University of Ghana Rugby Stadium at 2 p.m. For that game between the Nungwa Tigers and the Bulls.